Listen in for some positivity and good times. The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes Broadcast Network. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And, well, here's the deal. Yesterday, I made a video, and I was reacting to a TikTok. And I thought about it overnight, and I came to the conclusion that, number one, I didn't want to give these people any more attention than they're already getting. And I didn't see how it would be productive. I want to keep things positive. And although, as I've said before in other videos, sometimes you do have to pick and you have to kind of show the negative in order to get to the positive. But I need to keep things going in one direction. Well, here's my point of the whole thing. So there's a dad and his daughter. And I mean, she's not a teenager. She looks like she's probably still in elementary school. I don't know. But she's putting out to the world that she is gender fluid. Now, I don't want to have a debate on that subject. That's for something else. But don't put your life out to the world if you don't want the world in your life. Now, personally, I think the guy did it as a virtue signal, as a way of getting attention, like follows and likes and all that kind of stuff. And I already know that being a kid, being a teenager, heck, being a young adult, or just being a human being in general, it's confusing enough. But I think you're adding confusion to this poor girl. I don't think she's old enough to make such decisions. But you put it out there and you get upset because somebody reacts to it. If you didn't want people in your business, that's exactly what he said. It ain't none of your effing business. Then why are you putting it out there to make it people's business? You can't put your life on display and not expect to get some kind of reaction, whether it be positive or negative. I mean, for the most part, I've kind of put my life out there and I'm open to ridicule. So, you know, I'll take the criticism. I've been called some pretty nasty things, but honestly, most of the reactions that I get are pretty positive. I don't want to go and give emphasis to the negative and make it out like it's some huge problem. I mean, 99% of the reactions I get are on a positive note. So why would I create a problem saying just because there's a 1% that, you know, is negative? Why would I give that attention and make it out like it's bigger than what it really is? That's something that I've noticed a lot on social media and a lot of videos that come up on YouTube, is that people are making a problem where there is none. Now, I'm all for you live your life, you do you, but you got a child who's made this decision, and who knows how she feels a year from now. She may not feel that way at all, but now you've put that out there, and it's almost like if she wants to change her mind, you're going to make it really difficult for her to do so. It's like she'll be afraid that she's going to get ridiculed for not being gender fluid. Now, if you still feel that way, 20 years from now, hey, more power to you. But I know and I can only give myself as an example, but as a kid, I wanted to be the $6 million man. I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be Han Solo. That was a phase I went through. it changed all the time. At one point, I wanted to be a football player. More than anything in the world, I wanted to be a football player. I played football when I was in school, and it came to the harsh reality that I didn't have the talent, the skills, or even the size to be a football player. And I wanted to be an artist. But to be perfectly candid here, there's thousands of people that are much better artists than I am. I, I, I tried. I didn't make it. Maybe I could keep trying. Maybe one day I'll make it. But the thing is, that changed. I didn't want to be an artist anymore. You change your mind on things all the time. I kind of liken this to, let's say I got on here and I was drinking heavily, and I said, I'm quitting drinking. I'm totally against it. I'm not going to drink anymore. But then a week from now, I get on and I'm drunk. I've opened up myself to some pretty harsh ridicule because I made a statement and wanted you to know, hey, I didn't want to do this anymore. But then I turned around and I did it anyway. Now, I was an alcoholic. I do not want to be that way anymore. And I put it out there because I want to be held accountable. But in an instance like what this child did, saying that she feels this certain way, you're going to make it very difficult because you've made yourself accountable to that to change. I hope this doesn't sound confusing to you, but I just think if you don't want the world in your business, then don't put your business out there to the world. And if you're going to do such things, you have to be open to criticism. People are going to not agree with you all the time. Heck, people don't agree with everything that I do. I take a lot of the criticisms that I do get and try to make things better. And I invite you to. I want you to come on to my description. Excuse me, in the comments, and tell me what you think. If you want to come on this show and talk about it, I'm open for discussion. And see, this is another thing. Don't tell me to be tolerant if you're not going to be tolerant. Don't tell me to not be a racist if you're going to be a racist. That's hypocritical. There's mind you, I'm not a gamer. I didn't even know what this channel was until I saw somebody reacting to it. But there's this, I think it's called G4 TV. This lady comes on, she goes on a rant, and basically she puts down over half the audience. I would say probably 3/4 of the audience, but that's just guessing. And says, here's my opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch. Well, you're inviting people to say, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to watch you no more. She's trying to tell you to be nice and you to be tolerant. But then somebody brought up some tweets that she had done where she's saying, if you voted for so-and-so, then I don't want your support. What? See, I've said this statement, and I think I used the word wrong. I said this was a safe space. Well, not in the way a lot of people use that, but I do want this to be a channel that people can come to and can enjoy the content, can get something inspiring from it, and hopefully can change their lives in a positive way. So I try to not put politics into any of my interviews or anything else that I do. Sometimes I will give you the things that I find to be moral, my views. And you may have a different opinion on it. And that's fine. And I would say I'm always open for discussion, but I don't want to isolate and keep people away from my channel by saying you're an awful person if you don't feel the same way I do. That's not going to get anything to change. If you're going to constantly put me down, call me names, and put a label on me that I'm obviously not, if you're going to do those things, how do you expect me to listen to you? That's why I don't want to sit here and make fun of people and put them down. I might point out some things that certain folks are doing wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and just berate them because that's not productive. I can't expect you to want to listen to me if I'm going to tell you you don't like the way I think, you don't like the things I say, don't come back. Or if you support so and so, I don't want you to be one of my fans or one of my supporters or subscriber. That's no way to treat people. I've said this before and I'll say it again and again. If you want to change the way people think and feel, you have to use love. Hate is just going to bring on more hate. Granted, there's some people in this world that I just don't like, but to say that I hate them, that's number one, that goes against every principle that I have. That's not being a good Christian. I don't particularly have to like you so much, but I will love you to the point that if you were really in need, I would do whatever I could to help you. And that's the way I think most people should be. But unfortunately, so many folks are drawing this line and saying, if you don't line up with everything I believe, then you're my enemy. And that's not that's not going to change anything that's or make things better. It just makes things worse. You want me to be tolerant? Well, you have to be tolerant too. And then if I am tolerant to whatever it is that you're asking me to be, but then you still are going to say that I'm a bad person and you find every excuse to tell me that I'm an ist or a phobe or whatever, that doesn't make any sense. That I can't win from losing. We have to change the way we think, or things are never going to get better. That's what happens in marriages when people just can't agree and they've drawn a line, then they end up getting a divorce. Unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen to our country. We don't have to agree on everything, but we should still we should still be kind to one another. Debate's good. Discussion's good. We have to be open to it. I think once that stops, then there's nothing else you can do. But anyway, tell me what you think. If you'd like to come on and talk, if you see something that I'm doing that's wrong, and hey, I make mistakes. Sometimes I make bad takes on things, and hey, call me out on it. Show me. You know, I've used this example before, but I was a hypocrite like that, where I made a post. I didn't like some of the comments, so I made another post saying, "Hey, if you don't like what I have to say, then move on. You say what you want on your page. Don't comment on mine." But that's not fair. So my cousin called me out on that. He said, "Quit being a snowflake." And you know what? He was right. How can I put out in the world my opinion and not expect to get somebody else's opinion? So for every action, there's always a reaction. So anyway, as I said, if you want to talk about it, you can email me. My email's in the description. You can comment on this video. Heck, you want to come on the show? I welcome you. And until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network